Gambling and investing are two completely different things. Gamblers throw money at something hoping that it sticks with the odds highly against them. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. We use that information to tweak the odds in our favor. For us investors, the $1,000,000 question is, when will silver explode? Well, that is a good question, and I'm here to give you a $24.83 solution. Now, if you aren't already subscribed, I highly recommend that you do, since I post daily silver stacking videos and you'll always be kept in the loop. Now, silver is sitting at $24.83, like I said, and it's looking like starting to build a lot of stability at these higher prices. I found an article from investing.com titled "Upside Likely for Silver?" So I want to dive into this because it does bring up some good points. There's so many things affecting the price of silver right now, whether it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But the important thing to remember is all of these different letters affect the price of silver at different percentages, right? So you're going to see a lot of pulling and pushing. So if you're someone who is emotionally attached, always checking the prices, and if it drops $1, get that gut feeling and you start to worry and panic, you're going to drive yourself insane, especially if this is happening to you in the world of precious metals. Crypto, whole different ballgame. Gold and silver is a store of value. It's like putting your money in a time capsule, wealth preservation. It's a hedge against inflation, as the dollar slowly, well, now quickly, is just collapsing upon itself. The dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power. The dollar is literally worthless. So we put our money in something that has intrinsic value within itself to secure our hard-earned money. So with that said, even if silver is $100, that is nothing compared to the actual price, because $100 is worth nothing. In 10 years, $100 will be worth probably the same amount as $5 today. $100 back then is worth around $1,000 today. With that said, $24.83 silver is a steal. And if you disagree, I highly recommend leaving silver alone. You don't understand the value of the dollar, it means you don't understand the true value of silver. So silver against the US dollar, which are completely polar opposites, has had a lukewarm start to the quarter, like various other industrial commodities, and hovered around the $24.60 level for several days. Other commodities have been booming. Silver lags a little bit, since it also is, it's like the best of both worlds, I like to call it, right? I mean, it's an industrial metal and a monetary metal. So gold's just a monetary metal, not so much industrial. So gold is also affected more from economic uncertainty. More people turn towards gold. But silver, it also can benefit if the economy's recovering, where gold only benefits when things are going bad. Only benefits then. That's why us precious metals investors are kind of in this weird position where if we want our investment to go up, if we want to profit, we kind of have to like hope things go bad. But it's not even really hoping things go bad, it's expecting that they will. So to keep on moving on, fundamentals are generally mixed with hawkishness from the Fed amid high inflation priced in. At the same time, uncertainty remains around possible further European sanctions against Russia and ongoing anti-virus restrictions in important Chinese industry centers. A simple way to look at silver is that it hasn't gained as aggressively as gold in the reaction to this war, and it moves due to mostly different drivers from those of gold, but its popularity as an investment remains high. And yes, silver is starting to take on a life of its own, and I like how they did mention that it is mostly different drivers. Like there's so many different things pushing and pulling. But as I've been talking about for a couple of years, silver is starting to take on a life of its own beyond gold. Regardless of what gold does, silver can do this. And I do think one day silver will completely have a life of its own. Regardless of what stock markets are doing, right? Regardless of what the dollar index is doing, regardless of what gold's doing, silver will move on its own because what silver is going to be needed for, where gold has no place in, is going to be such a greater pull than right now. It's silly that gold and silver prices are so closely, I guess, uh, corresponding, or there's so much correlation between the price of gold and silver when they're used for two completely different reasons, right? So I do see or I think that will start to change, and it is. So a simple way to look at silver is that it hasn't gained aggressively as gold. Silver follows gold. It's gold's little brother. So silver is going to lag. Other commodities already followed gold's steps. Gold broke past $2,000, a little over a year ago. The highest price it's ever been, ever, $2,000. That was also the cheapest silver's ever been compared to gold. The 23% or the 23.6% weekly Fibonacci retracement area seems to be an important support below with which the price is unlikely to decline unless there's a significant inflow of selling volume, which could be possible. A lot of people panic sell, a lot of people speculate up, a lot of people worry, a lot of people fear, a lot of people have doubt. Like I said earlier in the beginning, it's $1 million question with a $24.83 solution. This area around $24.60 was the peak in the middle of January and the source of the fake out on the first day of this invasion. And that's a perfect example of how much speculation pulls the price of silver. Fear is the worst thing you can have when you're an investor. That is the number one way to get burnt. And it's kind of funny because people have fear or as a safety net because they're scared of making a mistake, but that act itself is basically guaranteeing that you do make that mistake. When you're in your emotions, you can't think rationally. It's all about decision making. The psychological aspect of investing is so important and overlooked that I really wish people would talk about it more. I try to bring it up from time to time. Maybe I should make a whole entire video about it. But if you are someone who's very panicky, finicky, anxious, glass half empty, someone who just always kind of has a gray area or a gray outlook on things, you're going to be a lot more prone to making impulsive decisions, impulse buying, panic selling, and being less successful as compared to someone who's very positive, that is cool, calm, collect, really steps back, thinks about things, doesn't jump in, tries to think rationally. You gotta, and to put it that way, it makes sense, but in the moment when you are someone who just sees your investment in the red, you don't think about that, right? And it could even translate, maybe your car broke down and you're upset, or you got fired at work, or you're arguing with your girlfriend, or um, anything. All of those things will also translate into your investing because it's all decision making. And if you have something else on your mind, or you're very frustrated or angry, that in return is going to also incorporate to the decisions you make with your investments, and that's more than likely going to turn out bad since you are not thinking clearly and already in your feels. That's why they say invest with your head, not your heart. So if you would like me to make some investing videos like that, like the psychological aspect, or more about impulsively buying silver or panic selling, or how to avoid this, or just to look rationally, like I said in the beginning, investors make strategic decisions, right? This is a silver stacking strategy. That's why I also tell you guys to subscribe, and not for my sake, just to gain subs. I tell you that so you're staying in the loop. Think about someone who just sits on their couch and just buys silver randomly, but has no idea what's happening in the markets, or what's happening in the economy that affects the price. Doesn't know any of that. Do you think that person's going to be as successful as someone who's daily, who's always reminding themselves on a daily basis and learning, right? That's strategizing. Just sitting on your couch and just buying an ounce here or there, that's not strategizing. Investors make strategic decisions. That's why I say it's so important. That's how you invest. If you're just sitting on your couch randomly throwing money into silver, that's gambling. Just throwing money at something hoping it sticks. So, what do you think the price of silver is going to do over the next couple of months? What do you think the price of silver is going to do over the next couple of years? I would love for you to answer that question in the comment section below. I'm doing a 54,000 subscriber silver giveaway, and I'm picking two winners, so your odds have doubled. If you want a chance to win some silver, go in the description and enter. Only one entry per person made the luckiest stacker win, but I highly recommend you do that. I have a lot of cool things coming soon. If you want to join this movement as I strive to innovate the world of precious metals in a way we've never seen before, I highly recommend you subscribe, click the bell so you get notified daily when I post. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.